signs, and the signs read, be kind. Be kind. Plain, 2 words. And I have to admit, as I was walking through Lewisburg, the first time I saw one of those signs that said, be kind, my first thought was, you be kind. How can you tell me to be kind? It almost came off as someone, I have all the answers, so I'm going to put a sign out for you people to read so that you can be kind to each other. And so it bothered me a little bit, so I researched it. And it was from 2016. There was a woman in Virginia, and she was so tired of the negativity everywhere that she decided to put something out that was positive. And so she made a simple sign, be kind, and put it in her front yard. And for too long, cars were going by and they're beeping the horn when they see it. And then other people were actually changing their route to places so they could pass by her house and get a little joy. I mean, be encouraged by that. And for too long, it went viral. Places all over the country were getting these signs, be kind, and putting it in their yards and windows and anywhere they could. And now it's actually global. It's gone beyond the United States and out into the world. So such a small little thing that she did, which had such a great impact, and you could almost sense in people a hunger for something that was positive. So what does that mean, be kind? The sign doesn't say act kind. It says be kind. So it's not one thing that we do. It's not one action. I'm going to act kind for this moment and then go back to my original self. Being is who we are. It's almost an ontological command. Be. That this is a state of being for us. So we are supposed to be kind. Well, what does kind mean? I looked up the word kind, and after it got past talking about types, like a kind of ice cream, it went on to say that kind is benevolence. And benevolence comes from 2 Latin words, bene, which means good or well, and then willing. So kind means benevolent. Benevolent is defined as willing the good. Willing the good for another. So, in essence, we are supposed to have a state of being that wills the good for another. Which kind of begs the question, what is good? Words are important. They're really important because as soon as we start messing around with words and changing the definition that we want, the reality is not supported. The day that I put a triangle up here and try to convince you it's a square is the day the word has lost its meaning because it doesn't match up with the reality. And many times we've done this in the past. Created words to define something that we wanted to define, which is not represented with reality. So what is good? Good is not relative. We can't make it up. What's good for me, what's good for you, it's not relative. Good, if we listen to Christ, the scholar of the law comes up and says, good teacher, he says, don't call me good. There's only one who is good, and that's God. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His mercy endures forever. So when we think of good, we think of God. It is true and good. So we are called to be kind, a state of being where we will the good for another person. And that's what we're called to do. And we should do. We really should. Jesus is railing on these teachers of the law today because he says, you check all the boxes. You wear the right clothes. You say the right prayers. You go to the right services. Everybody sees who you are, but internally you're corrupt. He goes on to say, there are prostitutes and tax collectors who haven't checked the boxes and not exactly living the best life. But they are trying to will the good. That they're listening to the message of John the Baptizer and trying to change. What are you doing? As Catholic Christians, sometimes we can check all the boxes. We can go to Mass, we can say the prayers, we can say we're Catholic. But we don't be kind to people. We don't will the good for people. And we have to get better with that. We don't want to be the son that says, yes, Father, and then doesn't do it. We also, though, don't want to be the son that says, no, Father, and then does it. We want to be the child that says, yes, Father, and we do it. We do both. And that is not an action. That is a state of being. It becomes who we are. St. Paul is telling the Philippians, might as well be telling us, that we put others ahead of ourselves. We wish the good. We will the good for another person. That even the prophet comes forward and says, we're saying that God's ways are not fair and we're kind of making up our own reality, which really has no power. So we are called to be kind, to will the good. That's what we're called to do. So, to whom do we will this good? Our enemies. Yes, we will the good even to our enemies. What about people who don't like us? Yes, absolutely. What about those who disagree with us? Positively. You ever heard that adage, kill them with kindness? It's very hard to be kind to someone and have them, berate you or yell at you or just be angry if we're kind. You have to be careful, though, because some people will look at that kindness and think of being nice. And that sometimes can compromise us. So that leads us to what is, if we're supposed to be kind, what is not be kind. In other words, be kind does not mean, it doesn't mean that we lie. Because lying is easy. It doesn't mean that we lie, we have to be honest. And honesty sometimes is tough, especially in mixed company. But we have to be honest and true. Because we're supposed to will the good, and the good is always true. In Greek, there's a word you. Epsilon, it's EU. And it means good, but it also means true. You can't say, well, the word just means, no, it means both. Good and true. And it is God who is good and true, and the truth will set us free. So what be kind does not mean, it doesn't mean that we lie to people. Just because it's easier, or just because we want them to be our friend, or we don't like confrontation. We can't do that. And it kind of leads into the second thing, which be kind is not. It is not enabling. What we mean by enable is, I can give a person $1 every day. And that keeps them right where they are. And it's easy for me because I can give the $1 and walk away. It's easy. I'm enabling them to go on as they are. They will not get any better. As opposed to empower. So be kind does not simply mean, yes, I'll give you what you need today so you come back tomorrow and get it again. That's not kindness. That's not willing the good. It's keeping someone where they are and not trying to raise them beyond their own expectations. And that is not God. We are also called not to be apathetic. Be kind is not apathetic. Like, I'm okay, you're okay. Live and let live. It doesn't bother me. We have to care. So to will the good for another is to put them ahead of us. And it's easy not to care. I mean, you don't get into controversy if you don't. You have less confrontation. But apathy is like elevator music. It has no soul. It's just playing so you don't have to talk to each other as you go to the top floor. It's a filler. But there's no life there. So we can't be apathetic. We certainly must care. Be kind does not mean we allow ourselves to be abused or taken advantage of. If someone is beating down on us and we want to be kind, we want to will the good for them, we do not allow them to continue to beat us down. We do not allow someone to continue to take advantage of us. That is not being kind. We're not called to do that. And we're certainly not willing the good because in a way we're enabling them to stay right where they are. And being kind does not mean compromise. So we're heading into Respect Life Month in October. And as Catholics, we are pro-life. And you might hear individuals say, well, personally I am pro-life, but I believe being not nice or unkind when we disagree with someone. We're saying, this is what I believe. This is the faith that I adhere to. To be kind means to will the good. It doesn't mean to make myself lukewarm so that I'm more approachable or I'm light. That's not to be kind. That's not willing the good for the other. So we are called to be kind, to will the good for the other, to everyone. We are called not to compromise, not to lie, not to enable or become apathetic, not to allow ourselves to